Welcome back to Create Like a Chingona. It has been a while since I've uploaded a tutorial, and now that Mexico's eliminated, I have a little bit more time to create some more Loteria tutorials. So today I'm coming with a tutorial in Illustrator, and it's something that I have never done a tutorial on that I get asked all the time. How do I create my custom Loteria cards? And I create these from scratch in Illustrator. And I am going to show you exactly how I do it. Now, there was a request for me to create one for the Norwegian soccer player called, um, I'm going to butcher it, Erling Holland. And he has been coined Vikingo, Vikingo, like Viking and Gringo all in one. And I'm going to show you what my process is in creating this Loteria card because there's a lot of AI ones, which I'll show you. So here he is, Erling Holland. I asked how old he was. He's, I think, 5 years old. Super young, a beast on the field, and hopefully he beats England, helps Norway beat England because they, beat us. But that's neither here or there. The whole point is we're going to show homage to this incredible player by creating a Loteria card because that's what we Latinos do. There's a couple floating around. They're all AI versions, and we're going to actually make one from one of his photos, of course, online. So the first thing is obviously to find a photo we want to use. I like to use Google. So I like to search, obviously, Erling Holland, which we don't have to put how old, but make sure you're under images. One thing too is to make sure that the size is on the larger side because that gives you more quality and easier for you to be able to trace. So let's see which one we should use. This one's pretty funny actually. I think we definitely need to have the like biking attire, but just not so crazy like this one. Something looks more like in his natural state. Um, and that's the first thing is just trying to find one that you can work with that shows him in the momentum. I do love the jerseys. I love the red one more over the blue one. I thought they did a really good job of designing that. And right now it is a matter of finding the right photos. Sometimes because the quality, you might find out as best quality in large, I go down to medium. And this one's really cool. I love that he's in the shot, but I'm not sure what it'll do for a Loteria card. This one's really cool too. Maybe we can find it, but not with all that crap on there, which is like literally his his beast mode, which is there as well. All right, perfect. So the first thing that I like to do is I like to do layers. And the first layer is obviously an image, and that's just so it doesn't move around and I can lock it into place. You can even name it if you want. So you double click in here, you can just do background, name it whatever you want, photo, enter. And then I'm going to go ahead and create a new layer that sits on top of it. And then we'll just do working, take the working layer. Now, the first thing is to zoom in and get the face. You can also go ahead and save this. This is just in case. So do Viking. And you zoom in on that one. That's not that great. Sometimes you do have to go back and forth. At least that gets you started there. That's why it is so important when you do make these requirements that they send you high resolution photos because it just makes our job harder. Yeah, you can instantly see the difference in pixels. So this one's a lot easier. Into the background. Then I'm going to go ahead and lock it. Okay. So now we got a pretty good, everything's fixable. This one I'm going to go back, 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 because I think this would be benefit from doing one lip and a shadow on top. So I'm going to go like this. And that's just define where the lips part. There we go. It's not looking perfect yet, but we got this. Now I'm going to dive into the ear. Actually, before I dive into the ear, I'm going to get the shape of this head going and start getting that forward. I'm not going to concentrate on the whole top because we have some hair that goes at the top. So you have to learn when you have to anticipate or when you're like things are going to get covered and you do not need to vectorize a little bit. So in this case, this is just defining the shape of his head and face. Oh, that's a little too curvy there. I can Command Z, edit, undo. Now, obviously, these do take longer, but they're well worth it. This illustration, it takes practice. Okay. So we've got the face. Now let's work on some ears. So I like to maybe start with the first shape, which is the top. Into one shape on that. We'll just cover that and close that one up. And I'm going to zoom in and curve this out with that little circle button. Okay, now I'm going to concentrate on this shape like this. I'm going to make it that shape because I'm going to bring the top layer to the top. So I'm going to bring object, arrange, bring to the front. And then I'm going to go ahead and get this little shadow that creates that little shapes and curves inside of the ears. And I'm going to get my eyedropper. I'm going to start collecting some color samples, adjust as needed. So then we have this other shape here, which is coming all the way down here, all the way up. And then we're going to also switch to a stroke, not stork, so that I can see the shapes better. So as you can see, it's kind of coming together. It's starting to look like actual illustration. Bring this down. And then we'll zoom in. Okay, so this is the other shape. Now we have some shadow stuff to do in here. So I'm gonna go ahead and make this little shadow in here. It's like a regular shape. The best way to not get overwhelmed is to just take it shape by shape. Shape by shape. I'm gonna go ahead and cut, smooth out everything so it's gonna match well. And I'm gonna zoom out. It's looking like it's getting there. I'm gonna go ahead and grab some color from here. As you can see here, there's a gap. So do we want to adjust with the direct selection tool? Excuse me, direct selection tool. I'm gonna go ahead and bring this top layer to the front because we want that to work behind it, so it covers it. That's that. Now we have the bottom. For now, when you zoom in, it looks really weird. Just put in here. Maybe there's just some color adjustments that will need to happen. But for the most part, the ears should all be the same color, minus like some variations in colors here and there. So sometimes, like if we made this all the same, it would definitely flatten it a little bit, but you can kind of see a couple of them. You can see it farther away, it's looking a little better. But sometimes it's just a matter of doing like a darker one in the back to have more depth. This definitely needs to be brought to the front because right now, as you can see, that shape's being covered. So what I would do is select this shape, group that together. And then we're going to grab the top one too, and then bring all those to the front. So better, we do need some more of a difference, I think, between this color and that color. Play a little bit more with it once we know the exact color of the skin we're going to be using, but I think it's getting there. We can even do like a little bit of a darker, slight, nothing crazy, to give it dimension. And then right now, yeah, his ears with Command Z, which is blue. Now with his face, I kind of like to see, yeah, so with his ear, we have to obviously adjust it. That's just one color. Okay, so we have one side of the eye. Let's try to get the other eye done. And it's the same process, obviously, for each side. Um, you never really want to go ahead. I'm gonna grab the pen tool, pencil tool, and you can like zoom out and kind of see what you're dealing with. Um, we have, I think, eyebrow we're missing actually. That should have gone more that way. So what I can do is create another shape that goes out more this way. We'll close that up and then connect those instead of starting completely over. Um, I'm gonna go ahead and smooth that in so they're kind of parting each other versus now what I do now is switch it back to a fill. So now it's a complete one. And now to make the shape actually united, I'm going to go back to our properties panel here. I'm going to go ahead and select it with my regular selection tool. I'm going to hit these. I'm going to go ahead and select both shapes, and then I'm going to hit Pathfinder Unite. So now you've created a new shape. I'm going to go ahead and highlight it. It's like this like darker brownish color, but that's just for now. Sometimes we can go back and be like, you know what, maybe we should do just dab some hair on top of the shape. But for now, we're just doing the eyebrow. You got to trust the process. Now this line here definitely needs to be smoothed out. So I'm gonna go ahead and smooth it. I think, I'm not sure what happened here. So I'm gonna go ahead and hit the negative and delete a couple of points here. Zoom in. There we go. Okay, perfect. So if you ever start being like, I have no idea what's next, like zoom out, take a look at everything. We have that little patch of eye that's right between the eyeball and the eyelash area. So I'm going to go ahead and work on that shape. Now, when it comes to the inside of the eyeball, I think that one is definitely safe to copy and paste over. That will make a huge difference. But this shape here is unique to itself. Not everybody in their life is symmetrical, or is it asymmetrical? One of those. Okay, so I can then go ahead and try to grab that color and start giving the eye shape. This is gonna be the same color as this for now. So I have my eyedropper tool. I can even start to reverse fill, grab the bottom color up. So sometimes I will go ahead and go back and forth between the fill and not just to make sure that everything's where it's supposed to be. So it makes a difference. So right now, this is kind of what we have. I'm gonna go ahead and group these together. I'm gonna copy, command, paste. Oops, command Z, that's not what I wanted. I wanted all of it. These two shapes that were grouped together, this shape, I'm gonna group those together. Then I'm gonna go ahead and do, let me grab everything over because my screen starts getting all crazy here. Move that, command, copy, paste, and then I'm gonna go ahead and hit object, transform, reflect. Now, the reason that I did stop making so much of these is because they are time consuming. I thought maybe I'm probably gonna zoom it up in the actual tutorial here so that you get the gist of it. But so far we've done about 40 minutes, 45 minutes per se. So they do take some time. Of course, I get better at it. And that's why I charge what I charge to make a custom one for whoever wants requesting it. So yes, we got that. Go ahead and start to bring stuff together. I'm going to go ahead and grab it so these are the same. These little cute ones that are below it. We have still need to decorate everything, but it's coming together. I'm gonna go ahead and do a stroke back on this so I can kind of see the top of this eye. We have some white that's in here. Now, given that this photo itself is dark, we probably don't want it that dark. We're just kind of use it to kind of guess where things are. Okay. But he does have a pretty dark area up here, so I'm gonna go ahead and just do this as a shade. This is kind of where people I would get a little bit not sure at first because it's dark and it's like, how am I going to bring this? But trust the process. We're doing this just as a shape. I'm gonna make sure it's a stroke. We're gonna make this a whole different color, make it red, and then we're going to not touch any of this top line because it'll start connecting. So we're right outside for now. But the whole point is for this to live next to it. But we don't want to touch that anymore because it'll connect it. But this will all be dark shapes reflect the shadows of the eye. Maybe too far on this. So maybe what I'm gonna do is bring this back by hitting the direct selection tool, and then going back to pencil, and then now clean it up. Okay, it's definitely not perfect shape, but we're gonna have it there. We're gonna smooth out. We're gonna do some stuff. I drop it. We're gonna do a dark black to really define that. Maybe like right there. We're gonna bring that to the front. Starting to define. Now with the eyeball, sometimes I just do like a black. So like, this whole white thing only lasts a certain amount of time. Okay, so we have the actual white ball here. I would like to add a nice little black stroke to it. It's very light. So I'm going to make like a 0.5 of a point, and then I'm gonna go ahead and drag it back up. Shoot everything in line. Now I forgot this is back here. So grab this out. This is white. So I'm gonna go ahead and bring that to the front and drag it down and kind of adjust it so it's really sitting there. Object, arrange to the front because we want this to be behind it. And then it wouldn't hurt actually this was all behind the eye. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab these two. I'm not going to just because I don't think the placement is quite where I want it, but I'm gonna bring it to the front. This I want to bring to the top. I'm gonna move these around a little bit. And I'm gonna go ahead and adjust this so it's literally sitting behind here. Now you'll want to start editing colors, bringing in the actual skin tone because it looks different against skin tone. I'm gonna go ahead and remove the filter now and make sure this is all lined up where it's supposed to. So this is all there. Redo this one to this. Bring back the stroke, which was like I'm gonna go with 5 this time to see what it looks like. So as you can see here, we do want to bring a lot of this down. Obviously, the eye is cut off here. So yeah, it looks like this eye is definitely up higher. So what we can do is bring this up a little. Of course, make sure it looks like my ball. Just follow this up. Bring this up. We're gonna bring this whole eyelid up after bringing to the front. That's both sheets, and then bring this one back to the front. So a lot of back and forth adjustments like this. Yes, I'm gonna smooth out. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and bring that in. Just out there. Fix this eye. Make sure like everything sits. With the direct selection tool, bring parts of this down. And I don't want it to be so straight off in the room by doing this little shape fix there. Bring it down a little bit, so let's zoom back out. I think this is on top of that to the front. There. Okay, so see, we can definitely see it's working. It's coming along. Now, have some like nice little eyelashes. I'll use this pencil tool, not shape, pencil tool to define those. Like a little bit more define on the side, but we get the point. Sometimes it's just a couple here and there. Now I'm going to test this. I think I'm going to do more on this side. So you can see that this part was done before. This was made, so we can do is go ahead and do object arrange to the back. And then we go ahead and do the other eyebrow. You know, does it kind of like it's just yet? So we're going to go ahead and reverse the stroke, add some hair. I think it's time to add the hair. Just like a beautiful lock of blonde that does that nicer than I do. It's like lacy blonde. But I guess I'm always going to start with for guys with long hair. So trying to get my friend. Okay, so we are defining the hair. The hair definitely needs some texture to line in it because it's just not the same. It just shows the smooth and slickness of his hair, which deserves it. It's just no way it's not gonna happen. Now here we don't get too crazy other than kind of get shape here. Goldens. It's not looking quite like we want it to. I'm gonna smooth it out. Stepping up the wand. Like we kind of smooth it. This one I get a better wand. Even here. This one like okay, so yeah, this is more definitely need the shape of it or else it doesn't look like him. So I've got this so far. We might need like a couple of little hairs inside, but for now I'm gonna smooth. I'll smooth and I'm gonna reverse it. And I'm gonna take a pencil tool and I'm gonna go like a darker shade to give this shape. And then looking at it from here, maybe we can have a little upwards, not like that, but direct selection, direct. This is one, that one, two. And I'm gonna go ahead and grab a darker shade of this to start highlighting this. So as you can see, we have the shape, that way, that way. Now this is literally where that pen tool comes in handy. Our pencil tool, the pen, because there's just nothing like not using the pen tool for this. And the pen tool, I use the other one more. It's more of a different technique. Yeah, and we can even thicken these, right? So it gives it more like more of that thickness, volume of it. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and make that more. I'm going to remove this right now. I'm going to go ahead and lock this by one object lock. I don't want it to be touched. Our photo's off in the background, but I'm going to go ahead and select one of these and go back to my stroke, which is on the properties panel. I'll put up like 2. Just the stroke is bigger. You can see the gist. Now I can bring this back and kind of compare it and start figuring out color. That's usually the hardest. Right now he's looking like a shower head. But we'll fix it. I have to trust the process. I'm going to unlock this shape. It does it different once it's getting there. It's getting there, but I think this stuff can use some variety. So what I want to do is object, path, outline, stroke. Then I'm going to the direct selection tool and I'm going to go ahead and here is something that would die if I just don't mess with it. Like it has to look good, and if it doesn't, then just no point in making them. I'm going to go ahead and get this. Easy. Zoom into one of these, and I'm going to go ahead and add some more thickness here. Thicken it out a little bit. Object, path, outline, stroke. Yes, I'll do that. Zoom in out of that. I just want to grab one of these vector forms so we can increase the thickness. Doesn't matter the variety from short to thin to sorry to thick is good. It shows a little bit more variety. Now, I do believe in this case, I must have all the way in here. Shows the right. Object, path, outline, stroke. So these curve ones, we can do definitely more of like a curve. That. We put that one, object, path, outline, stroke. This is just removing it from your stroke. It's just like a shape that you can edit your vector shift and play with it. This part will take some time because you're kind of going back and forth. You can see it starts to look a little better. Let's look at this one. Maybe that not being so close to this side. Okay, so right now, honestly, yeah, the more vectors you create, the more system will treat this file like it's a little bit of stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and do a save to be safe. But I think it's kind of long. I'm going to work with the hair right now. I think it's the right color. I know it's skin tone. I think sometimes not making it so intense. It does look more like it. Okay. I think once we get more of these defined stuff, it'll start looking like him. So these are what I make sure that it's the same. But I'm going to make sure that look, everything's not always base to space. So that's why I'm grabbing the eyedropper and I'm going to fill it in and I'm going to go ahead and do like a dark to define those. They're all in the same color. And then this one is going to be this darker color, which is defined because of that dark black. This definitely needs to be smoothed out. There we go. Now we have like this nose shape here that I think is like a roundness to it. I like to highlight. Sometimes it's just like a simple little circle highlights. Sometimes that works, sometimes it doesn't. It might be highlighting just this part here. Once again, this is circle and like a little darker shade. And then sometimes I will bring it down in opacity a little, so it's not so defined. And you can like check it back and forth, kind of come together. I like maybe that shape is the right shape. Maybe it is just this shape here. Darker, kissing that rounder look. But now we have the color of the base. Reverse it to stroke. Do like a fairly darker tone because that one's like more defined. But I'm also going to do a little bit of opacity. I'm going to go ahead and smooth it out a little. Now this one does have to be smooth this out too. Behind everything. So I'm going to object arrange to the front. Actually these two group. Actually group. No, this, object, group, object arrange to the front. I can start to compare from there. little better. Maybe we just do like a little highlightish, and that's more like highlight as in like a lighter color. And I'm gonna go ahead and not make it so perfect. Smooth it. I'm gonna go ahead and do some opacity. A little better. Okay. So back. Really, I think I'll work on his eye down here and add some like a shape, which is right there. Just a little highlight. What I'm gonna do is pimples. It's illustration too. We want to feature the natural true. I like this. There's that. I'm gonna go ahead and bring these to front. I'm also gonna change the stroke ends to be round. The stroke is like the cap and round. And then we're gonna change the color to like a dark. Actually, it's the same as eyebrows. So reverse stroke, stroke, change the end caps. For now, I'm gonna group them because I'm gonna change the colors again. But for now, I'm gonna do that to these two as well, and then use the eyedropper tool. So group. Bring to the front. Show you the front. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the skin first, and then I'm gonna go ahead and just kind of do a light darker. Same with this one, but this one's definitely a lot darker. It's a highlight, but I also want to make sure it blends. So that's why I do the opacity. You see this coming along. And with this one, I'll definitely bring down the opacity a little so I can perfect the form of them. Love this one. There's, let's work the lips. Okay, so I would like lips we need to bring it in a little bit more. And then curve this part. Get the curve. And then go ahead and do color. That's a pretty good color. We're gonna go ahead and do all of this, which is like this darker. This part, okay, so this part here is always dark, like the part here, which is like that. And then do the other side too, like bigger cheeks, meet your lips. And I'm gonna go ahead and use this. Just to start getting the lips way apart. And we can add like some highlight with a pencil tool to highlight his lips. Just a little highlight here, which would be this color, but we're gonna go on the color above the highlight color. And go ahead and see pick the for it. Step along, and reverse back, and fix it here. It's gonna look great. And it's fixable. And another thing we do is grab a pencil tool, and I'm definitely going to get some definition. Like, where is that? I'm gonna make it a little bit darker. And we're gonna give it some definition. So he does have like old juicy lips. Okay, so I'm gonna bring in his lips because we want too crazy here. Right. And this part we did because it's not so sloppy. Smooth this out. And that's how we do it. We're gonna go ahead and drop this out even more. This one, we're gonna go ahead and smooth this. And then also gonna go ahead and head to our lines. So we're gonna use the same color. Go ahead and drag and try to group those one this way. Group to front. Use these things. And just copy those to the front. I'll do some of this up here. What's this? Oh, it's a lot of back and forth, shaking, zooming out. Just highlight here and find space. Do the shadow here. Gives his nose some depth. And all the same. And then the shadows are look quite great. So the best way I do is to bring opacity down. But he's coming along. Let's just trust in the process. Obviously, way crazy. I guess I used to just do like opacity too. Just like a highlight, a little upwards in the scale of colors. And then spin it, blending there. Yep, he's coming along. Okay, and he's a good break. We're gonna see much everything. His ear is exactly a little break, and one more to go. And one more to go. So let's go back in and make it closer and a little bit dark. One thing with this is I'm going to put the shadow in upward more. And then go back to the base. I did have to do a little workspace reset because I'm not here working on the space. Let's hear this way. Okay, reset essentials. Let's connect through. Also, yes, I'm making sure that they are attached. So I think more like them, but I'm going to go ahead and let's work on this side. We're going to this down a little and highlight this area, this shadow here. Definitely make it the same. Come on. Now we do need another shape that will go back here. That back. I'm darker.
first we'll go ahead and follow it on top, bottom side. So that's the way to start the color. Go ahead and bring this up until two, make this back. This one also, you go with that one, we're going to go ahead and bring these back in, bring to the front. Come on. Yes, it's getting more definition behind, which is exactly what we want. And we definitely want to bring this island more at the front, and I want to make a little bit more on the fish side, because that's at the bottom of the eye. So this shadow goes up a little quicker, we're going to go even closer to the center. And this one too. More definition, we want to show the sides. I'm checking out is that I do a TikTok live while doing a YouTube tutorial that I'm recording, and this is on Illustrator. You want to have those people, not able to get it, then you're in the right place. Okay, so I just need to come back up. We're going to go ahead and drag it up. So here is recording. Let's trust the process. Always trust the process. Okay, so shadow below it, I'm going to make a little bit more shadow. A little bit more heels. All right, come on. Here's this. You can see I get a little shadow on the right side. That we want to give a little bit of dimension. Little shadow on the side. And some work on the other ear, but we definitely come on. This shadow here. This a little touch, and then you'll pass it down. And so I'm starting to look like I'm going to set up change some of the tones. And we hear more. Yes, here. Yes. So we're going to shade by shade. And make it the same tone as this here. The bottom time, for stroke, make it completely different. That we know exactly where you're shading here. Very much like tracing, but using a mouse and pencil. If you do want to learn the basics of tracing Illustrator, I do have a class you can take. I'll teach you the 101 basics. And then we're creating some shadows here. So we're going to start past this photo, which is going to have darker tones. And we do have this big shadow here. And these two will probably be the same shadow as this other. I'm going to color for now. Here, that one. And we'll go ahead and go back to the space. This one. That's a shadow. We'll go back here. A little bit crazy here, so this is up. We're going to smooth out. Use shadow here. Definitely come along. So you have to kill two birds with one stone. Anything still, please, and not using everything anymore than actual straight, it will always be on demand. You don't have the same abilities to do things with giving kitchen stuff. Yes, quick. It's different ideas. It's kind of long. You have this little like back end. I have this on there, but I do want to add the horns. And I will show you I would use AI. And sometimes just to get a visual of the shape of things. It's kind of long. It's going to be a little bit hard. And I'm thinking that his body will look more like this one. But I also want to add this. So I want this face with this. But I want this jersey. So this is going to be ask AI just to get the layout of it. I don't have to go this. So I do keep track of my time when it extends. I'm going to go ahead and tell ChatGPT. Create a very illustration version using the top head set with the pose of the bottom white jersey and points, but with the jersey. So we create something, will that work? Point this and a shot of him here so that it's one or two out of the dimension of them. And I want to get the horns. So you can see the original here. And then I'm fix it here. There's lots of fix, but he's definitely coming on. Now here his hair still started wet. We got fixed up. And all my fun. I'm fixing his hair. And I'm doing this a little crazy. There we go. And I'm not working too much on here so that we want to add the horns. So you can start seeing how it starts looking. Maybe we can go with like this color and darker. Range colors. And then maybe also something else. Okay. Yeah, this is the look essentially. This is not the look I want. So you can see this is what AI created. This is not like a photorealistic version of him. And the really proud because we're just going to copy the bottom, we're going to keep the same. And then we can't see the same tone here. We can use the same tone. I don't know what they think of that same tone. I feel like that same tone is the actual one. But it should be a little bit better. Okay. We have like this. A lot of back and forth when to get things the way you want them. And then I'm going to find this a little bit more, but I think 1.4. Okay, we're going to smooth it out. Smooth. And then this is 8 point. We'll show something wonky. Pencil or that. I'm going to smooth this out. I'm going to do an end stroke cap. And I'm going to use the smooth tool to smooth all this out. I'm not going to be cautious, but I should avoid that. And then show what this looks like. Then you have like really zoom in and look at what it is. That's the real illustration. Is zooming in on all the details and making sure that everything's nice. And honestly, we're probably cool. So questions like this. Okay, so a little better. Got more of a darker shadow overall. It's all the way here. I'm going to bring this back. Put this around and use the dark shadow all the way this way. Good. Around. We're going to go ahead and bring that one and face it back. I'll just bring it to the back. And test against this. And it's looking more like the shadows. One thing I want to do is lock up my layer of photos or something. Okay, so, because he has less hair here. Or just I want to copy which is the box. And I want to see the right shape of the box because it might work to have points like this because these are tilted. But same concept. I mean, the only all the seats here using this yellowish part with the circles, the three are at the top, and then box. That's my style, my style simple. So I mean, the style is really hard to make edits anyway. Everyone has their style. And just another style. We're going to very minimalistic. Time era. Just how to play games in the most minimalistic ways possible. Like that. Like the lines. This. Right out there. That works. Not duplicate this because it has a different name to it. So now we're going to do this new part. Maybe following, and then we'll do circle switch. Using my circle tool, I'm not trying to use effects. I have blacks and sorry, the occasional shadows. But I do like the way that they did do the areas in my similar, where it's like different tones of the colors. Cool. So now, that way, got everything. There's that, and that's the back. This. Here's the front. My doesn't match with my head. Camera. I'm going to add it to his head. We shall figure it out. Top. And we're going to do this middle. And we don't do it a second. But I'm going to back it. We'll take a light. Alright, so this that's like hairline in this one. So X out in it is not what I do. We will bring this down a little bit more. And we will roll this up. There is 10. They were more points. I think I was with, but you might be so able to do it. I did change a little bit of my skin for the titles. And then I'll just put your four sided. Sorry. You know, so I just know just like maybe and you know these numbers here. It is. I don't know what I'm going to do. Just really look right now. Not just fine. Sorry. Just I made fun. So I'm going to do process. I don't show. I get mentioned. Let's do. Let's do. And let's do. I